started out with the scheduling for a class with Mark, and the class occurred about a month before the actual, almost exactly to the day, a month before the knee replacement. The class was about an hour, hour and a half, where Mark went through explaining what was going to go on, what type of rehabilitation they would do up in the main hospital, and then what would be sort of the follow-up. And they gave us this manual they went through as he taught the class, which was real detailed. It describes everything. So you're really comfortable in a way knowing what's going to happen. That's a big thing. And you go through the surgery. And then that first day, I mean, you're sort of still in happy land because you've had painkillers and you've been out, but they have you up walking. I walked from the bed to the door and a little outside the door and back, which to me was they said it was going to happen in the book, but I didn't believe them that they'd have you up walking that quick. And then the next 3 days you're in the hospital. My surgery was on a Tuesday and my release was on a Friday about noon. You have rehab. The knee people, it tended to be the teamwork thing carried over more, I think, with the group I was in, where we'd more cheer each other on and try and build each other up. And they set you up with somebody over at the rehab. In my case, because I chose the rehab, and boy am I happy I did, I got a young gal named Katie Ferguson who worked me over for the next 6 weeks and really did a magnificent job. She's largely responsible for as far along as I am already now. Sort of amazed when I'd think back to what she said during those half-hour sessions, and you remember and apply them at home, and it really made a big difference. My daughter Kari has been my coach when I do the exercises. She gets after me. And my wife is sort of the overall supervisor. And it's actually one of the things that has been sort of a little scary, it's frightening for me, is that those two ladies at my house and Katie and the ladies in therapy up at the hospital, they bond like this, you know. I'd do something that I knew I wasn't supposed to do, and Kari would catch me and say, Katie is going to get you when you go back to therapy. And Katie would say at therapy, I'm going to tell Kari, and she'll make you do this. It's going real well. I have to say I'm pleased, and if this keeps improving to the point where I suspect it will, I'm going to be able to do what I wanted to do, which was spend time with my grandkids, going to the zoo, going miniature golfing, and doing those kinds of things without having to rest and let my knee relax a little every 20 minutes or so. There are two great things. Giving them that book, having them read it, having them prepare, that invests them in it, just like you do with students when you give them homework or a special assignment. And then second is that coaching business with the teamwork. That is so important too, I think. That can't be overemphasized. With the third thing being the rehabilitation and people training you how to rehabilitate yourself afterwards, which I understand Katie was a teacher too, and so were the gals up in the rehab up at the main hospital. And the treatment up there in the hospital by the rehab folks in the big, what I call the big hospital, and then the rehab folks at rehab has just been utterly magnificent. I have no complaints at all. Even though I was the center of what was being taken care of, they allowed me to make some of them feel important too. You know, I think it's important that people who take care of us sometimes get told that what they do is very important to us. And I had a lot of very important people when you use that definition in this experience.